Hello and welcome to this in-depth demonstration of LogixOne Operator for Zoho CRM. In this video, we're going to cover off all of the functionality that LogixOne Operator can provide you. And we'll try to go into as much in-depth information as possible, but please understand that there's probably more things that it can do that we don't have the time to be able to demonstrate with inside a video. But we're more than happy to conduct personal demonstrations if you require. So just to sort of set the scene, what is LogixOne Operator for Zoho CRM? Well, it's a field service management tool that integrates very tightly into your existing Zoho CRM environment. So what that means is that you can leverage your existing, say, contact and accounts, database, and then leverage that into your field service operations. So basically the system is designed to remove paperwork and digitize the process of allocating jobs to your field service operators. What are field service operators? Typically, these are people that provide um, customer services. They could be services, or it could be product delivery, or it basically could be anything that an employee provides to a customer in the field. So these could be people like cleaners that are being instructed to go and do cleaning jobs on a daily basis. They could be electricians, they could be personal services, maintenance services, anything like that, where someone requests your company to do something, provide a service, but that service needs to be done in the field, and you need to instruct your field service employees on what to do. Okay, so that's basically what the platform is designed to assist you with. So what I'm going to do in this first section is just very briefly go through the components that make up LogixOne Operator for Zoho CRM. When you install LogixOne Operator, it will add some additional modules into the platform, but it's important to note that the platform utilizes a number of the native modules that exist already inside native CRM. And so because of this, it means that you can leverage the existing power that Zoho CRM provides you to do things like reporting. Basically, you can, because we're using a lot of the native modules, we can report instantaneously on the status of your business. So you can include reporting and dashboard items that are not only relevant to your sales processes, but now also your field operations and even your finance. So you can see in this example here, I've created some quick dashboards. So, total invoices today, total invoices this month, who's the best performing operator. All of those things can be customized to meet your specific reporting requirements. The accounts and contacts modules, they're just the native accounts and contact modules that come with Zoho CRM. So is the products module. The system uses the products module. So here's in the product module, you're basically providing all of your services. So if we just open up one of those very quickly, here's a window cleaning service. So this could either be a product or it could be a service. So yeah, as I said, the system utilizes the existing products module. Then we have the quotes module, which again is the native quotes module. You can create quotes in here. So your sales team can be creating quotes. And then once they've created the quote, they can then, or your admin team, convert that quote into a job. So again, entering information once, not having to double enter, making sure all the information is accurate. Is important to ensure efficiencies within your business. The invoices module is the native invoices module. We've added a few additional fields in here. The jobs, and we've called it jobs and sales order. Here you can change the names of these modules within Zoho CRM, very simple to do. But this is actually the native sales order module. This is where you create jobs. And again, we'll go over that and how to do that. But basically it's the native sales order module. We've added some special fields in here to simplify creating jobs and then allocating those to your field service team. Your feeds is your feeds module, which is native within CRM. You can create automatic feed updates here based on job status. That type of thing can be easily done. Um, and then we're getting into the modules that get installed as custom modules. We have, if required, we can actually install what we call the LogixOne Employees module. So this will actually list all of your employees. This is optional. You don't need to do this, but it just adds additional functionality. So the example might be, let's say you have field operators and you classify operators as trucks. It could be the Emily truck or the Mary truck, but you have different employees working on those trucks. You can sort of combine those together to now report on the truck's performance and the truck's activity, as well as the employees' activities. Okay, so again, but this is optional whether you install the employee module or not. Another module that gets installed, which is a custom module, is your operators module. And again, we're going to run through all this in detail, so don't worry about that right now. Your operators module is where you list all of your operators. And it's here where you're creating operators and giving them access to the LogixOne Operator app, which I'll show you in a second. LogixOne Chat is our chat tool, which enables you to basically chat using either Telegram, SMS, or WhatsApp to your customers. Again, this is optional. And then probably most importantly is the LogixOne Scheduler application, which gets installed. And you can see all of this exists right inside your existing Zoho CRM environment. So your admin team, they can log in to Zoho CRM and they can get all their information about what's happening operationally for your field service team. They don't need to log into any other platform. And in fact, you only actually need one Zoho CRM license to operate this. The way that we basically charge for the service is it's a fixed fee. You can install the platform. Any of your users can access it if you give them permission. But we basically charge a small fee for all of your operators. So theoretically, you could have one Zoho CRM license and create thousands of operators, and you're only paying for one Zoho CRM license. So it's actually very cost effective. But just going back into LogixOne Scheduler, here's your color-coded calendar. Here's where we're showing all of your operators on the left side here, all of your current jobs for a time period. So that's by week, but I can show by day or I can show by month. I can see the status of all of my jobs for today. But again, we'll go into that in greater depth. So that's the color-coded calendar. And then what we'll do is click here and now we can go into the map. And so here we can see all of our operators and we can see whether they're in shift, whether they're not in shift. We can track them. We can see them moving their location. We'll update every 10 seconds, and we can see their status. We can filter by the events, the job events that we've got happening today, or we can show your accounts, all of your accounts here. We can show all of your contacts. And basically load these onto the map. So it's a great tool for you to be able to do marketing as well. So you can see all of your accounts here basically on the map, so you can actually see which operator is closest to that account. But anyway, we're going to go into that much more detail. Yeah, so that's the mapping solution. Now, in addition to that, we have our LogixOne Operator app, and you can see that here. So this is the application. It can be downloaded from either the Google Play or Google Play or Apple App Store. And here's where your operators get their jobs, right? So they can start and stop their shift. They can see their jobs for the day. They can click their jobs and they can go and action them and then complete them. But again, we'll go into that into much more detail. So yeah, that's basically the first part of this video. It's an overview of the platform, the components that get installed into your Zoho CRM environment, and then the field service operator app that your employees actually use to get their jobs and complete them. Oh, welcome back. So in this section, we're going to talk about operators, basically what they are, how they work, how you create them, and how an operator logs into the LogixOne Operator application. So operators are just a custom module that's installed in your CRM when you install LogixOne Operator for Zoho CRM. Again, it's a custom module. It sits up here in your menu with all of your other modules that you have inside Zoho CRM. You can apply the same types of permissions that you can any other Zoho CRM module. So you can restrict it to certain users or a certain group within inside your organization. So if you only want, one or two individuals to be able to see this information, then you can restrict it to them. So that provides an immense amount of flexibility for you. The operator section is where you, as I said, where you create operators. Let's just discuss for a moment what an operator is. So what I'm going to do, you can see we've already got a list of operators here in our demo environment. What we're going to do is actually create an operator and talk through it. So all you need to do, come to the operators module, click create operator. All right, and then you're within the new record section. All you need to do is give the operator a name. So I know that we've got operator um, 017. Of course, this can be anything that you want it to be. So um, if you want to classify your operators as people, then you can put the name in here. But let's just say that you classify operators as, say, some of your resources. It might be a truck or a delivery van or a cleaning van. Maybe what you might want to do is put the registration number here. It basically can be anything that you want it to be. We're just going to continue with our method, which is 017 is the next. And then the operator owner is just basically the CRM owner. You don't worry about currency. And then what you need to do is give the operator an email. Now, the operator email here can be anything that you want. So I can write at google.com here if I wanted to. We'll just put at test.com. It doesn't actually have to be a real email address. If you want to make it a real email address and use that to send that operator an email, then you can do that if you want to, no problems. But the difference here is that you're actually creating the operators inside the CRM. So it gives you an immense amount of power of what you do with those operators. And then what you need to do is just give the user a password. Again, this password can be anything that you want. So you can either make it simple or really hard. Uh, Coming back to this, it basically means that your operators don't have to create their own profile. You create it for them, which basically means that at any time you can make them inactive and restrict access to them. You can change their password. If they forgot their password, you can basically create a new one, click sync, and their new password will exist. When you're dealing with people that are workers that are on the road, you need to make things simple for them because they're busy, they're moving in and out, and they're not always using technology. So for them to sit there, log on to a portal, create their own username, all that sort of stuff is really something that you want to not have in your business environment. Okay, so the next section is where you create what we call the buffer time. Now, the buffer time and the work postcodes are utilized when the system goes and determines who would be the most appropriate operator for a given job. And basically what the system does is it looks at the work postcode. So if I put in a couple here, all you need to do is separate them by comma. You can put as many as you like in here. What it will do is look up and say, right, who can work in that postcode? Who's free at that time? And so therefore, who can I assign this job to, but allowing for a gap of 30 minutes from the preceding job to the new job. Okay, so it sounds a bit complicated, but basically that's what it's doing. So that it can look up and say, right, out of all of our operators, these three can work in the postcode of 3000, but this operator has 30 minutes between their preceding job and this job. So let's give it to them. Okay. The employees module, this is optional extra. We can also install our employees module, which allows you to create, to associate employees to operators. Now, sounds a bit confusing. As I mentioned, you could call an operator, you could use an employee's name here, or you could use a resource name. But let's say you use a resource name, so it could be like a cleaning truck, it could be like Emily truck. Then you may want to associate a number of employees to that truck because you might have different employees working on that truck at different shifts. All right, so here I'm just going to assign this employee to this operator, but I'm going to change that name back to um, our methodology. All right, for our demonstration purposes. Okay, so I've basically created everything. I've got an operator name. I've given an operator email address, a password. I've obviously set the status as active. I've put in a buffer time of 30 minutes, and I've put in the work postcodes. The buffer time and the work postcodes you do not have to complete. If you don't want the system to do dynamic lookup, you can leave those blank, and then but you can always select the operator that you want to associate to a job. Okay, so simply just save that. All right, so there's that operator created. Okay, now the last thing that you need to do, and this applies to most of our modules with inside Zoho CRM, is you've created that here. Now what you need to do is sync that operator, because what you're doing is telling the backend system, here's a new operator, here's their work postcodes, here's their buffer time, here's their password, here's their email address, and so on. All right, so you need to click sync operator. And once you've clicked that, you'll get the response of operator has been created. Okay, so now we know the operator has been created. Okay. Okay, so welcome back. And now that we know how to create operators using the operators module, probably the next thing that you'll want to do is actually create jobs and assign those to your operators. It's really simple to create jobs. Basically, you go to the native sales order module with inside your Zoho CRM environment. We've just changed the name of it to jobs/sales orders, and from here you can start to create your jobs. Now, it's also worth noting that you can create jobs from any of your other modules, say your accounts or contacts module. So why don't we do that? Let's pretend that one of our contacts has contacted us and they're looking for someone to come and do some cleaning services. So let's select Tim here. And then all we need to do is come into the related list, jobs and sales orders, click the plus button. And now we can start to create a job. So let's just, as an example, call it the Esplanade nightly clean. You can put anything here that you want. You could have also created a quote and converted it into a job, which is actually quite easy. And then all you need to do now, what we're doing here is creating the job, but also what we need to do is create the job events. So a job is, it's at this location, it's for this account, this contact, at this address. But then what we need to do is attach service items and also when the job is to occur. Now, jobs can occur on a once-off basis or they can be reoccurring, and so you can easily create those here. So that's what we're going to do next, is create the job events, and we're going to say, right, we want it to start today, and we're going to say we want it to start from 10 p.m. and obviously it's going to finish, it's going to take 2 hours, so we're going to say today, and we're going to finish it at 11:30. Let's just put it at 11:45. Can be anything you want here. PM. And then we're not going to choose the operator because we're going to let the system decide who the best operator is. And we're going to say that it's going to be daily. It's going to reoccur every day. It's going to reoccur every 1 day. So if you wanted to reoccur every second day, you would just put 2. If you wanted to reoccur every third day, you would put 3. And the repeat ends, let's say they want this to happen for the next 3 months, okay? Putting us on trial. Also, they want us to exclude Sundays. We don't need to do Sundays. We just need to do Monday through to Saturday night. We're going to notify the customer via SMS. So this will send an automated SMS message to the customer, and we're going to put a quick description in here. Nightly clean. Please add any additional items used. Okay, and please also get signature. Okay. Now, because we want the customer to sign the completion of the job when the cleaner's finished, what we'll do is tick this little button here, request customer's signature, and then what we're going to do is select our service items. So we're going to call it a standard clean. This is coming from our product catalog. So we're going to do a 1 hour full service clean, okay, and we're going to charge them for 2 hours basically. All right, so we've got that there, and we can add other items here if we want. Let's just do that as an example. Let's just find something from the list here. Let's just do, I don't know, a window clean, and let's say it's 10 square meters of that or whatever it might be. Again, pulling all these from the service catalog. So all of the pricing is pre-populated. All you need to do is put the quantities in. Okay, so basically we've got everything. We've got the contact and the account. We've got the start time and the finish time. We've got the frequency. So this is daily. If we're only going to do one time, we could have just selected one time and it would only create one event. We're going to repeat every day, but we're going to exclude Sundays, notify the customer via SMS. Here's our description for the job, and here's the tick to that we require signature when we've completed the job. Okay, so we'll just save that. Right. Okay, so here's that. Here's that job. Where is that job? Okay, here it is here. All right. And so now, the one thing that we haven't done is selected the operator, who the cleaner is. Now, you could do that by just selecting from the operator list here. But what we can do is actually let the system determine who the best operator is. So we do that by coming to the buttons area inside Zoho CRM, and we click operator lookup. And we just give it a few seconds. And you'll see here it's chosen operator 9 as the best person to, or the best operator to complete that job. Okay, so we'll just close that. And you'll notice that operator 009 has been selected there. Now, you can always override it. The other thing to note is if the system can't find an available operator, it will return an error, and then you can select from the list. So let's go and let's change it. Let's change it to the operator we've just created. All right, go down to the bottom. It's 017, wasn't it? Sorry. 017. Okay, so there's that operator there, and we're going to tick that. Okay, so now we've got our operator. The last thing we need to do is notify our operator. So we do that by again coming to the buttons area and clicking create operator events. And we just wait for a second. All right, and then we can see our events have been created. So we can close that window. The screen will refresh. Now what that's done is automatically created Zoho CRM events or meetings in the system, all right? And you can see those here. But more importantly, what it's done is if we go into LogixOne Scheduler, our color-coded calendar, it's created those jobs in here. Okay, so if we scroll down the bottom here to 10 p.m., we can see here's those jobs here. Okay, and here you can see that they occur on Saturday, or they start today, and they go to Saturday. But then if we go to next week, okay, and we scroll down, you'll notice that they're not on Sunday. They're not, because we excluded Sunday. All right. So basically what we've done is very quickly created a job using the native sales order module with inside Zoho CRM. Very quick, very easy to do. Now what we want to do is have a look at how you actually view and monitor your jobs on a daily basis. So for that, we come to LogixOne Scheduler, and LogixOne Scheduler gets installed when we install LogixOne Operator for Zoho CRM as another module inside Zoho CRM. So again, Any user that has access to this module can see it. You can restrict some of your users from seeing it. You can allow access to others. But it also means that you just need to log into your existing Zoho CRM environment. You don't need to log into any other platform. So the first thing you'll be presented with is the color calendar in week view. And so just to run through it at the top here you have the current status of all jobs. So you can see here I've got 133 total jobs. I've got 88 that are completed and 4 that are in progress and 41 that are still open that haven't been completed. Now these counters will update automatically when a job gets completed. I'll just demonstrate that now. So as you can see, I've got my BlueStacks Android emulator running here. You can see that I'm logged in on the LogixOne Operator app as truck 017. You can see that here, and then you can notice over here, you can see that 017 is in start shift, and there I can see that I'm getting feeds from them. I can simulate stopping shift, so if I stop that shift, you'll see that change there. I'll start the shift again. And then you'll see I've started the shift. So now I'll go to get my jobs. And if we scroll up the top and we go to one that isn't completed, this one here, let's open that up. Let's check in. Okay, the time has been recorded and you'll notice that the counter changed here from 4 to 5. Okay, and now if I go and complete that job, change it to 2 and 8 and complete, then you will notice the counters change up here. Okay, so 90 completed, 4 in progress. All right, so that's just updating from the app to the to LogixOne scheduler calendar. Just move that out of the way. So that's the counters up the top. Again, they're live. They update live as your operators or field service people are checking in or completing jobs. These counters will change. If we come into the calendar, working down, we can basically see jobs by day. Selecting the day. So if we go back to yesterday, we can see a few more by week or by month. Okay, so you can see all of the jobs here. I'll just go back to the day view for Friday, and then looking across the top here, we've got our date selector, so we can move between days. Given that we're in the day section, and then we can search here for basically anything. So if I type Umalas, okay, it'll search for anything with the text Umalas in it. I'll just delete that. Okay, so you can basically, this is a free text search. You can use the account name, the customer name, the job name, basically anything, and it will look up for jobs that match that. You'll notice that I can see all the jobs for all my operators. We'll just leave that there for the moment. If we're coming into the calendar, you'll notice that we get this green tick. That basically means that a job's completed. And if you see just change the next day, let me see, there is one that's in progress. If I click here to go to in progress and filter by only jobs that are in progress, you can see this little icon here showing that this job is in progress. And if I go back to all jobs, then I'll see all of my jobs. If I click on completed, I'll see just my completed jobs. Okay. All right, so that's the color coding and the job status updated in each job. Then what I can do is I can also drag and drop jobs. So I can say take this job here, pick it up and bring it to another day, another time. Okay, and that will update not only here but also on the operator as well. So we can change the job. I can easily drag and drop, move jobs around. If I want to edit a job, I can basically click it, each job, and it will show the information, corresponding information for the job, the operator that it's assigned to, the job name, the time and date, the location, again, who the operator is, any descriptive information, any event information. I can open up the underlying job from here. So if I click this, then I can see that here's that job. okay, here, and I could make changes to here and sync the job again, and then those updates will be pushed out to the field server or the operator. I can also edit the job from here by clicking edit, and I can change the operator owner. So I can bring it down here and let's change it to operator 17. And if I want to put any job description notes in here, I can do that. So I can just update here, and you notice that job has been updated to 17 to truck 17. And then that will be pushed out to the operator device. All right, so that's very quickly the color-coded calendar. Moving over onto the left pane, starting here on the left, you can see all of our operators are basically listed here, and we can see whether they're in shift or not in shift. We can see the total amount of jobs they got, and we can hide them. So if we basically want to hide all of our operators, we can basically click this button here, and that will hide all operators. And then we can come through individually and select operators. So let's just show 17, and let's just show 3. Okay, so you can see here, I can just see the jobs for those 2 trucks. I can also change the color of my operators to make them stand out a bit better. So you can come in here, select the different color for that operator, and then click done, and then that will save for that operator. All right. Another feature is filters. So you can basically filter which operators you'll see. So if I click filters, I can search by name. Okay, you can see that's brought up by 17 just here. And I'll just clear that for now. But I can also filter by shift status. So I can show just operators that are in shift. Okay, so shift started. Click there, and these are the operators that are currently started their shift. Okay, so that very quickly is LogixOne Scheduler, the calendar view. Now let's have a look at the mapping solution. Okay, in this section, we're going to be talking about the mapping functionality with inside LogixOne Operator. You can get to the mapping system by just clicking this little switch here. So you can go and click that towards map, and that will show you LogixOne Maps, which is integrated into the same web tab that's implemented in your Zoho CRM environment. And so now what I'll do is I'll just walk through the features of this. Across the top here, we have our job counter. That will basically stay the same. We'll keep updating as jobs are completed or changed to in progress. And then on the left-hand side, again, is our panel of all of our operators, showing each operator, whether they're in shift status, they started their shift or stopped, and the last time their shift was updated. Also, whether we're receiving updates or not, the number of jobs they've got for that given period, and whether we can see them or not. You can still run your filters here by selecting the name or the shift status. That's all feasible there. But then as we move to the main part of the mapping solution, you'll see that at the top of the map, we have this thing called the event filter, filters. So you can select that and you can show either events, which are job events, your accounts or your contacts. And I'll run through that in a quick second. The event dates that you want to filter for, so whether it's today or in the future or in the past, and then also the event status, whether it's open, in progress, or complete. And I'll show that working in a second. The next thing you'll notice in the map is that all of your operators are shown here. That's their live status. So if we zoom in on these operators, we can see that this operator is in start shift because it's green. And you can see their shift started here at 10 o'clock in the morning and the last position track time that's there. But if we look at this operator, just zoom out a bit, we can see that their shift stopped. So we see their shift stopped. And then if we zoom out, we can see that, we can see again the shift status here. And we can actually just see that that operator just started their shift, that one that we were looking at there. Okay, if we click on that, we can see that their shift started at that time. All right, and the last time that their position was tracked, it's this time. Okay. All right, so that's the map itself. Now, let's say we want to show some of our jobs on the map itself. We can do that by clicking these filters here. So what we want to do is show firstly the job events. So these are the jobs for the day. So we click events, we click the event date. So we're going to do today. I'm going to leave the status as all and click apply. And then what it will do is start mapping out. So if I zoom out a little bit, all of the jobs that are planned for today that are still open. Okay, so if I click on any of these, you'll see that this one, here's the name of the job, here's the time that's to start, here's the operator that's been assigned to it, its status, and then we can also link to the actual underlying CRM job. So if I click that, that will open up the corresponding CRM job that's here. Okay, so if I go back to the map, then we can zoom in, but let's say we only want to see jobs that are in progress. Well, we can change the event status to in progress, click apply, and then we can see here's some jobs that are in progress. And you can tell that because they got the purple color. And then I can click that and I can see that that job is in progress. Okay. So we come back across the top and I can change these. And also you can see the operators actually moving. So every when this operator changes a shift to started, it will start to track that device, and you'll see their position update every 10 seconds. So if we wait a little bit, we might see that. Okay, so we can actually see this operator moving now. So you'll notice that their position is changing every 10 seconds. Okay, obviously stopped at traffic lights here, moving. So it's a great tool to see who's in transit, who's not, who should be moving, who shouldn't be. And now you'll see that that job has been changed to in progress. And you can tell that because the icon has changed to the purple color, and we can see that here now. So in addition to the job tracking and operator tracking, live operator tracking, you can also use this tool for some other things that you might find useful in your business, such as mapping out your accounts and your contacts. To do that is quite simple. All you need to do is go to the select filter, and instead of filtering by job events, just say select accounts, and then select the state, and then you can even narrow it down to the postcode. So let's just put in here this one and click apply. And then what you'll see is your accounts start to map out in those locations. And this is mapping through to the account information in your CRM. So it's a neat way to sort of look at, right, what accounts do we have in a particular postcode? So let's say all postcodes. And you can select postcodes individually. So now you can map your accounts out quite easily. If you want to, you can also change that to contacts as well. Load your contacts if your contacts have an address in them. And another feature that we're about to add is driver history. So you'll be able to go back a number of days and see the actual movements of your operators. The other thing that you might be interested to do is actually show this map on a full screen, say on an overhead monitor, so you can view what's actually happening on a day-to-day basis. That's quite easy to do. Simply all you need to do is hide the operators, and then you can even hide this filter as well. And so now basically your job counter will stay the same, but now you've got a full map so that you can see at a glance how you're going on your daily jobs and activities. Well, in this section, we're going to talk primarily about the LogixOne Operator application, which you can see on the right-hand side here. I'm remoting into my Android device. This could easily be an iOS or an Apple device as well. So the application is ready for both Android and iOS. And basically what I'm going to do is simulate what an operator sees and what you're seeing on the back end here. So again, this is the application that your operator would have on their device, and this is the back end here. So if I go into here and put the calendar on, basically what I've done is hidden all the other operators and just shown operator number 16 here. And then we'll further make that easy to see by just coming up to the top here and selecting filters, and we'll just select operator 016 here so that we can just see them. Okay, so there you go. So we can just see operator 16 and operator 16's jobs in the calendar on the right hand side. And then on the right, within the calendar, and then over on the right hand side of the screen, we've got the operator app. Okay, so all the operator needs to do to log in is enter the company ID, which is provided to you when you set up LogixOne Operator, and this will typically be your company name. So we'll just do that to log in, which is demo 6 for us here. And we'll connect. And then the next thing that they're presented with is their email address and password. Now, just to recap on what we covered earlier, it's very easy for you to be able to set this information for your operators. They don't need to create their own account. They don't need to do any forgot passwords or any of that sort of thing. That is actually all provided from the back end within inside the CRM in the custom module that gets installed here. So you can see here, operator 16, that's their email address and password. And I can very easily change that by just editing this, changing the password, syncing the operator, and then the password is changed. So it makes it really easy for people that may not be tech savvy to be able to log into their device. So now what we're going to do is just simply log in. So we enter the email address and then the password. Okay, and then log in. And then we'll log in. Okay, so we'll just go back into the calendar again. Okay, so just before we get to how they get their daily jobs, just look at the menu so they can drop the menu down. They can get their jobs from here. They can look at completed jobs. There's some settings information in here, just in case the device has been used with by another operator. We may need to resync the backend settings. That can be done here. And then and then they can actually log out of the app as well here. So what we'll do is just go back into the main screen. Okay, so the first thing that they'd probably want to do is when they begin their daily tasks is start their shift. So basically what they do is come into the app, click the staff shift button. They'll be asked to confirm that they're fit and ready for work and that they meet your company's workplace occupational health and safety policies. So that we'll continue on that, and you'll notice then they'll get a red button here to next click will be to stop their shift. And if we look over here on the corresponding operator with inside LogixOne, you'll notice that the shift has started, okay, for that operator. And you can see that the time that it was started at. If I click that again and stop the shift, you'll notice this will come back to saying that they've stopped shift. So we'll just start their shift again, and then we'll just show what happens inside the map. Okay, so if we find that operator, which is down here, you'll notice that that is the operator here, 16 is green, representing that they're in shift. And again, if I just stop that shift, that will change to red, simulating that they've stopped the shift. Okay, so we'll just start their shift again, accept that they're fit and ready for work. We'll just take this back to the calendar, and then all they need to do is look for their jobs. So they click the My Jobs, and it will take them to the current day that's on their device. And so you can see here for the day, they've got 3 jobs to do. You can see that they're all represented by this big O, basically a blue color, which matches the color in the open field. So these are all open jobs. All right, if I just go to the day before, you can see that they've got 3 jobs here, and you can see that they correspond in the calendar here. And then you'll see that two that are open and one that's complete. And so what they can do now is complete these, okay? So we'll do that from here. Just to show the calendar, they can view either a month, they can view either a fortnight of jobs, or they can view a week of jobs. And of course, they can cycle through the weeks like this, okay? So we'll come back here, all right? And then what we'll do is just simulate very quickly, just finishing a job. So let's just take this job, for example. They click the little button here. They open up the job. It gives them the job name, the customer details, the address, the dates and times, and then the service items of what needs to be completed. And if there are any notes that are relevant to the job, and then they can also put some notes here and save those back to the job, which will show back in the back end of the system. Okay. But for now, what we'll do is just simulate checking a job. Of course, they can navigate to the job by just clicking here. All right. And then that will navigate to them using Google Maps. And then once they arrive at the job, all they need to do is to complete the job is click check in. And it's important that they do that at the start of the job, because what that's doing is logging not only the place, the location that they click that button, but also the time. So now we can get time to complete information. All right, so you can see that the job has been checked in, and now they're able to complete the job. You'll also notice over here on the back end that the counter has changed, the in progress counter has changed to 4, simulating that another job is in progress. And also you'll see that the corresponding job here has got a little hazard sign representing that the job is actually in progress, all right? And so again, what you can do is just click these buttons to only show in progress. Okay, so what we'll do is very quickly complete the job. Okay, it's a 1 hour standard cleaning service. There's got a quantity of 2. Obviously that means 2 hours, so we can change this. We can put in our final count, say we did the 2 hours. Okay. Now, let's say they had additional items that they needed to do, such as they needed some window cleaning soap, and there was a count of 20 of those. They can add that information here, put in some text, whatever, we'll just put something very quick there. Okay, and maybe there's some other items as well. And we won't put any notes for this one. Okay, so we've added those. Now these additional items are again coming from the service catalog inside your CRM. Okay, and they're selectable. So not every item that you have within your service catalog gets pushed out to the app. You can do that if you want to, or you can select certain items. Okay, so I've added, finished the final count, added additional items, and now I can click complete. All right, if you watch over here on the left-hand side, once that's marked complete, you'll notice that will change to now 19 complete. The 4 in progress will go down to 3, and you'll notice the little green tick here to simulate, to represent that the job has been completed. Now, because this job has been requested to be signed by the customer, we'll notice we have this little box comes up here. And so now the operator can ask the customer to sign the invoice. A very good job my signing, and then put in a name here. Okay, and then save that. And then you'll see that the signature has been successfully added to the job and the job's been marked complete. Okay, so now if we go back to their calendar, and we'll see that for that day, that job has now been marked complete here, Baking Barry Daily Clean, and you'll see the same thing over here. From here, I can open that up and I can open the invoice and see the invoice of the completed job. But we'll go through that in the next section. Okay, so now they can move on to the next job. All right, so if we go to the next job, That one's been completed. We can go to here and then we can open that up and we can check in. All right, you'll see the count is updating here, 4 in progress, and now this job has been marked 2 in progress down here, as you can see that here. Now, if I go back to the home screen, just select the right date, you'll notice that that job has now gone to the purple color to simulate that the job is actually in progress, okay, because we've clicked the check-in button, or the operator has. Okay, so I'll basically go back into that job, and then I'll complete it, put in the final count, any additional items, we won't add any for now, and then click complete. All right, so now we can see the job is completed. In addition, as I mentioned before, the operator can actually add notes to this job if they like, and these will be synced back to the CRM. We can put in here basically anything we want. Okay, and save that. Okay, and then that information will be synced back to the CRM. In addition, the operator can attach any attachments. They can either choose from the gallery or from the camera itself. So let's just choose something from the gallery. Okay, and then we'll upload that. And then that image has been uploaded successfully. So if we just hide that, and then we go to attachments down here, we can see, firstly, if there's any attachments that have been uploaded from the job, then those will show here. And any attachments that have been uploaded from the device will show here. All right, under upload, and then any that are attached to the job will be associated here. So what we'll do is we'll simulate that very quickly. So very quickly, what I've done is basically gone back in to this job, baking bakery daily clean, and I've added an attachment in here, which is this image here. Okay, so just within the job, added an attachment, and then out on the device, if we go to that job, which is this one here, and we click on it, all right, and then we go to attachments, we can see that attachment that's been shown here, and then I can click on it and load it, and there's that image. So this is useful because this could be an image of, say, the job that needs to be complete. It could be documents such as plans. It could be permits. It's basically anything that you think the operator needs to have in their in the app for them to be able to complete their job successfully. And then, as I mentioned before, Cleano, the operator, can actually upload their own attachments here. They can also call the customer because we've got the contact details in there if they've been saved. So a lot of other additional benefits and functionality that exists within inside the app. Not to mention also, of course, that the app is actually sending back to the system information on what jobs are being complete, what ones aren't, and of course the geolocation of the operator themselves, and see the operator moving. So as the device moves, so will the icon on the map. Okay, now that we've seen how operators complete their jobs, it's now time to have a look at how those jobs are marked completed inside the CRM. So basically, when a operator completes a job, what that does is automatically creates an invoice for that relevant job and that job event. So every time they go out and they complete a job, it will create a corresponding invoice. And you can see those invoices by just going into the invoices module, or for every job, you can click here and open it and see, because it's completed, it's got that tick, we can see the invoice. So I can basically link directly to it. Okay, so we'll just open that invoice up, and then yeah, as you can see, here's the completed invoice. You can see what the job is that it's allocated to, who the account is, who the contact was. We can see who the operator was that completed it. We can see the customer signature, because that's which was requested on the job. We can see who signed that as the customer, and then we can see further information such as the completed location, the check-in location, and the check-in time. And then also we can calculate the time to complete. So we can see that this is obviously a demo and it took us 24 seconds. And then if we scroll down, we can see the items that have been completed by the operator, and those have been marked here. So what I'll do is I'll look for a job where we added additional items, or the operator added additional items to the job. And we can see one right here. So here's an invoice created for the bakery daily clean job. We can see which account it's for. We can see which operator completed it, the completed location, the check-in time, the check-in location, the customer signature, as well as the time to complete here. And then if we scroll down, we can see the final invoiced items. So we can see the original item on the job was for a 1-hour service clean, and we completed a quantity of 2 of those, or the operator did. And then we have these 2 items that the operator added themselves, such as the window cleaning soap and window cleaning, plus also the notes that they put in here. All right, and now let's have a look at any of the attachments, and we can see the attachments that have been uploaded to this invoice. Okay, so that's it. Basically, we've run through everything, almost everything, I should say, that LogixOne Operator for Zoho CRM does. Again, basically the system allows you to create jobs from your Zoho CRM environment and allocate those to operators in the field. The operators use an Android or iOS device to get access to their jobs, and then they complete those, and that creates invoices within the system. We also have a tool that enables you to consolidate invoices. So let's say you've got, for example, this example baking brewery, and you are, completing a job every day for them. What we're able to do is actually take a bunch of jobs and then consolidate those into one invoice, so that you don't actually have to send them all the different invoices for every day. You can just send them one invoice at the end of the month. And some other functionality, such as the ability to chat via WhatsApp, Telegram or SMS with customers, which we can see here, just basically chatting via these different channels such as Telegram, WhatsApp, and SMS to your customers. We can automate sending SMS messages, or automate sending a WhatsApp, automate sending an SMS when a job's finished, or when an operator arrives on site. Because we are using Zoho CRM, we've got the power to be able to leverage the automated workflow functionality. And then also, as mentioned in the beginning, the ability to be able to report on your operational component of your business inside Zoho CRM. So I hope that helps. It was a rather lengthy demonstration, but there's a lot that the system does. It takes a little bit of time for somebody to get used to it, but once they're used to it, creating jobs and allocating jobs is actually very simple. The idea is that it takes away the complexity of managing your field service business. So thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. We are more than happy to provide a private demonstration for you. Thank you.